Hi everybody, Gastera here. Sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was kind of sick, still am right now, but not as much. So I should be able to get this episode out today. Anyway, so this is episode 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, as you might have noticed. So if you'd like, you could probably drop a like or subscribe down below, and I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, so let's get down to the review. So episode 2 starts off where episode 1 left us, where Yusaku is riding the data storm that Ignis created, and Yusaku actually doesn't know what they're actually doing. Apparently they're doing a speed duel, so Ignis actually explains it to him. So apparently what a speed duel is more a simpler version of a master duel. Let me take this off. Of a master duel, which is a normal duel that you and I usually do on Yu-Gi-Oh! But a speed duel actually is a more simpler version. That's probably for, for more... So speed duel is usually for times where you don't have enough time to actually do a regular duel. Like maybe during lunch, during school, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so a speed duel usually has only like 3 places to put your traps and spells, and only 3 places to put your monsters. You start with 4 cards in your hand, and you have 4,000 life points. Seems pretty simple. Anyway, so it starts off with Ignis explaining that to Yusaku. So after they start the duel, well, it starts off with the Hanoi Knight actually starting first, and he manages to apparently draw a perfect hand according to him, which ends up allowing him to special summon 2 low-level monsters, and then using them to tribute summon the same dragon that you've seen multiple times before, which is apparently called Cracking Dragon. Yusaku and Ignis are surprised by this, and by the chances that they have to actually do this. And when it's Yusaku's turn, and he actually manages to draw a pretty good card for himself, which is apparently called Cyberus Wizard. But when he summons it, a Cracking Dragon's effect activates, which apparently takes Cyberus Wizard's levels, multiplies them by 200, and loses that many attack points, and Yusaku takes that much damage. But then but then Yusaku activates Cyberus Wizard's effect. But then Yusaku activates Cyberus Wizard's effect, which changes his enemy monster, one enemy monster, to a defense position, which apparently Cracking Dragon has 0 defense points, which should be able to allow it to be destroyed, and also allows Cyberus monsters for that turn to deal piercing damage to that monster. So, Cyberus Wizard attacks, supposedly destroying the Cracking Dragon, but it doesn't actually destroy it. And the Hanoi Knight reveals that there's another part to Cracking Dragon's effect, and that it can't be destroyed by monsters that are lower than its level. But he still takes piercing damage, but Cracking Dragon is not destroyed. So after Cyberus Wizard's failed attack, the Hanoi Knight activates a spell card which is called DDoS Attack, which the effect of it is that he has to send every other DDoS attack card he has in his deck, currently in his deck, which is 2 of them, into his graveyard. And for each of them, for each DDoS attack sent to the graveyard, he gets to take his one of his monster's levels and multiply it by 200, and then his enemy takes that much damage, which with his his level 8 cracking dragon adds up to 1600 damage. This causes Yusaku to lose grip on his, I guess, surfboard, and start falling towards the ground. But apparently, Blue Angel has been following him, and she manages to, conjure a whip, to move his board towards him, which he grabs onto it and saves himself. What do I do now? What do I do now? The Hanoi Knights then sets another card down onto his spell trap place, and then activates another spell, which he attaches to his cracking dragon, which allows the monster to which allows his monster to attack after being switched back to attack mode. And if he destroys a monster on the enemy field, he gets to attack again. So obviously he's more powerful than Yusaku's Hanoi. No, he's more powerful than Yusaku's Cyberse Wizard. So then he attacks, but then Yusaku activates one of his trap cards, which allows him to do 3 different things, and one of those effects is that he can choose to not have his monster be destroyed this turn, but he still takes the damage, bringing him down to really low life points. But his Cyberse Wizard is still alive. But being distracted by this whole thing, the Hanoi Knight points towards in front of Yusaku, which Yusaku then looks and sees that apparently there's a data storm hurricane in front of them, and then Yusaku gets sucked into the hurricane, causing him to lose control and go around and around, not knowing what to do. While in the data storm hurricane, the Ignis tells Yusaku about his skill, and I forgot to mention that earlier, and the fact that there's also skills in this. The Hanoi Knight used his skill Double Draw earlier. Skills are a thing apparently that you can use once per battle, but Yusaku's skill is something called Storm Access, which allows him to access the data storm when his life points are 1,000 or lower, and gain a card from that data storm. He uses the card, which apparently causes him to start to lose balance, but he does regain posture, and he gains a new card, apparently. And the force of gaining the new card apparently allowed him to exit the Data Storm Hurricane, so that the Hanoi Knight is actually surprised he managed to do so, and So Yusaku actually starts his turn with using Cyberse Wizard's Cyberse algorithm once again to send Cracking Dragon back to defense mode. But then Cracking Dragon uses his No, that's not the right order. So then Yusaku uses Cyberse Wizard's Cyberse algorithm once again to change Cracking Dragon to defense mode. But then the Hanoi Knight uses his trap card Pulse Mines, which changes all of his monsters to defense mode. Yusaku then summons another monster, Stack Receiver, to the field, which then is also turned to defense mode with Pulse Mines. Then the Hanoi Knight uses Cracking Dragon's effect, which does the same thing as with Cyber's Wizard, but then he uses it on Stack Receiver. He should the Hanoi Knight thought he was going to be dead, but he only took 200 damage because Stack Receiver's attack was only 100, so he only took that 100. So he only took 200 damage. So he only took 100 damage. He then inactivates. Actually, what did he activate? It's 100. He then activates his spell card. Oh wait, no. What's it called again? Dang it. He then activates his spell card Effect Cowl, which when there's a Cyberse monster in his field, he takes no damage for this turn. And then what? My field that won't take the effect damage this turn. And then he activates his trap card, Cyberse Beacon, which since he took damage this turn, it allows him to since he took damage this turn, he can take one level 4 lower monster from his deck and put it in his hand, which then allows him to special summon Cyberse Backup Secretary. Right? Yes. Yes. It allows him to summon Backup Secretary, which can be special summoned if there's another Cyberse monster on his field, which is Cyberse Wizard. With those 3 monsters on his field, he is allowed to link summon a monster, which apparently requires at least 2 effect monsters to do so. He uses his 3 monsters to link summon Link 3 Decode Talker, which is the monster that he got with his data storm access skill, which he then uses it to attack Cracking Dragon. And I know you might be wondering about Cracking Dragon's effect about lower level monsters, and there's the fact that, but then there's the fact that Link 3 Decode Talker actually has no levels, so it doesn't affect him. So then he then destroys Cracking Dragon and ends the duel.
Don't forget to ask people to subscribe and like.
I was already going to do that. Actually, okay, I should probably edit that out. Okay. After summoning Decode Talker, Yusaku explains that Link monsters have no levels and can't be switched to defense mode by outside effects. So Pulse Mines and Cracking Dragon's effects do not affect Decode Talker. Okay. Then he special summons Cyber's Wizard from the graveyard, and in defense position because of pulse mines and whatnot. But then uses his effect of Cyber's algorithm to switch. He then uses Cyber's algorithm to switch Cracking Dragon to defense mode. Decode Tucker then uses the effects of Link monsters and uses the apparent links to Cyber's Wizard and Cracking Dragon in the link zones, I guess, to gain 500 attack for each links, which is 2 of them. So he gains 1,000 attack, which gives him 3,300 attack, which easily allows him to destroy Cracking Dragon. But I know you may be wondering about Cracking Dragon's effect of monsters lower or equal level to it cannot destroy it. But Decode Talker doesn't have any levels, so that effect doesn't apply to it. So then, then Cyber's Wizard uses his effect of Cyber's algorithm. So then he deals piercing damage, destroying Cracking Dragon, dealing 3,300 damage to the Hanoi Knight, ending the duel, and saving SOL technologies and whatnot, and Ignis. And then what happens? And that ends the episode right there. So I did find this a pretty nice little thing to watch right here. It expertly explains how different types of combo moves can give you an edge in battle, but the opponent can also have these types of combos, and that setting them up can't help you in a duel. So anyway, that wraps that whole thing up. So don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and maybe comment on anything else you'd like to see. My name is Gastera, and I'll be seeing you in my next week.